Alright, this is a motherfucking Halloweenville podcast. To the left, we got the one and only Catxscan, and to the right, we got the one and only Kemet, Dank. What the fuck is up, y'all?
Woo, we lit, baby.
Where did y'all just come from?
We just came from this Evernoir Unlimited show or Marjorie Sinclair, depending on who you're a fan of, you know. Pretty lit.
You came from Baltimore, too. Yeah. Today we came from Eugene. So, all over.
That's hard.
The show was crazy, though. It was outside.
Yeah.
Super cold.
Hella fire.
But good vibes, you know. A lot of energy, so.
People were taking their coats off. That's how you know it was lit. The whole coat pile outside and shit. Good dude, too. Shout out to Marjorie and shit.
So, it's rare. This is a rare occurrence. I've heard about the legend of Catxscan through many people, so I'm really glad that we were able to secure this. I'm curious though, why is the Catxscan appearance in Portland so rare nowadays?
A lot of reasons. I'm old now, so I think that I just need to spend my time doing things that benefit me.
Yeah.
And as much as I'd like to support every single person that has an event, it's just not always beneficial to my life. But, you know, if someone makes it worth it,
yeah,
I'll be there.
Like, recently I saw that you opened for Little Tracy. How did that come together?
Well, our friend Ned.
Yeah.
Nedarb.
Shout out Ned.
The first time I ever went to LA was a show we played together.
Hard.
And I stayed at the Lofts, Skid Row, where all the legends, all the GVC members used to stay.
Never living.
And no, I mean, it was better living. Funny story. I touched down in LA and I'm showing people the address because I don't know where I'm going. Hey, am I going the right way? Mm-hmm. Don't go that way. Who gave you that address? They're playing a joke on you. Turn around, kid. I'm like, nah, I'm texting. Yo, this is the Addy, right? Mm-hmm. I pulled up. It was a great night, but that's the first time I met. Actually, not. You know, let me air some shit out. We air shit out the whole time.
Fuck yeah.
Tracy, young bruh, he actually used to stay out here.
Oh, for real?
He used to stay at Reed College and pretend he was going to school. Little known fact. So he actually had a set at Reed College as young bruh back in the day. Fast forward, when X came to Portland for the first time and performed at D Block, young bruh's in the crowd. X is such a fan. He says, "He's our young bruh. He's our young bruh." He flips out, get up on the stage. And Tracy performed his song Damn at the time. It went up. It was crazy. But, you know, we both been in the game 10 years now, and we known each other that long, and we watched all these people come up. So, you know, the same way that he had to pop out for Bro's show tonight, I had to pop out for their show in Eugene.
Yeah.
And they didn't go to Portland this tour. We linked last time they was in Portland the year before. Had a great night, listening to tunes. But pretty much I just asked Ned.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, can you bring me out? And he's like, yeah. And it was a great night.
You said, how long would you say you've been rapping, or at least making music?
10 years.
10 years.
I'm making music, 15.
Yeah.
But rapping, 10 years.
Being in the game for a hot minute, what is it like seeing the nightmare oversaturation TikTok market we're in right now?
Fine. I'm finally used to it now.
Same.
It doesn't faze me at all. But
4 years later.
It's been so fun to watch the evolution of different waves and sounds and things come into style and become a trend and then fall off. And my favorite part of being around so long is watching people quit. And it's not that I want them to quit, but it just shows who cares about this stuff. Because there's people who have no traction, no monthly listeners, but they've still been making art for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And it just shows oh, you really care about this.
No matter what the outcome is.
Yeah. And that's the people I want to be around, and that's the people I respect. And that's my favorite part, just seeing who's stuck it out.
Yeah.
And when you see a name, you know, whether or not I follow them, but maybe I see a drop, or even on SoundCloud. And a lot of people, SoundCloud is getting a little better, by the way. I know they got a lot of hate, and their app has been abysmal, but they changed the way the app works, where now it's more like a social media feed, where it's kind of like Reels.
Yeah, I saw that recently.
It's just like you can hear like 10 seconds of a song and go to the next song, but it makes it really transparent, where you can see who reposted what. And I'll be on there just, oh, wow, they're still around? They still make music? Oh, damn, they dropped.
Somebody you ain't thought about in a minute.
And it's just so heartwarming. It just makes me so happy. Like, and I hope that people feel the same way about me when they see me drop. Like, damn, he's still going? I thought he was going to quit 3 years ago, you know, because I feel like I'll be 80 years old making music. Whether or not it's the same music I'm making now, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just how we survive, you know? And I feel like that's why I like seeing people quit or give up. And when I say give up, like, I'm not talking about a hiatus.
Yeah,
I'm talking about you run into them and you're like, oh, how you been? And they're like, oh, good, I don't make music anymore. It's like, well, thank God, because you shouldn't have made music to begin with, because this is really how we breathe. Like, if we weren't able to make music, we wouldn't be able to be on this earth. I mean, what
But then
would
you
we
gotta
do?
speak to the effect of people too, who like then like got fucked over, like to the point where they don't want to make music anymore for like certain reasons, type shit.
Yeah,
from the industry shit.
And leaving
you know?
the industry is a whole different topic. But even those people, you can still make art and not post it.
Yeah.
And that's even more valuable to me, because it's truly for yourself and not for validation.
A true form of expression,
you know, any other thing. I hope that was a good answer to the question.
No, it was a perfect answer. How did I'm curious. So, Kemet, how long have you been making music?
Probably the same time, probably like 14 years type of shit.
How did
I
you
used to record
sorry.
like when I was in middle school too. I used to make like random like mixtapes and shit.
Hard.
We'll just get into this now, and I probably said this before. If you're a real fan, you know this, but this is the GOAT. This is the father of everyone, including me, to be completely honest. You know, just this is a really surface level thing, but Dank God, right? It comes from bass God, essentially. Right? But then you have the third wave, where it's like ugly God. That comes from Dank God, which comes from bass God.
Right.
But, and you know, you could argue, like, what do you mean? Well, go to his videos and go look at the comments and see ugly God begging for a feature. Collab, question mark? Collab, question mark? Yo, bro.
Shit.
And then, you know, he hit bro up. Yo, bro, I love this song. Can I remix your song, bro? Please. You know, this is before the fame, the XL.
Shit.
But this one, he was a cool guy, so he's like, nah, dog. You can't do that shit. And then bro's on XXL, you know, like freshman. But that's just, you know, that's the history that people don't know. And it comes down to, I don't know if you know who Crime Wave is.
It sounds familiar.
But he's a rapper. He just dropped shout out Crime Wave.
Yeah, fact.
He used to be in this band called Navigator. And before I was a rapper, I was in the hardcore scene as well.
Yeah.
Punk metal. I had a venue in Medford, Oregon. It's called the Rec Room.
Hard.
And I was booking all genres essentially.
What years was this?
I was 16 years old, so this is like 2014 type era. And Crime Wave was in this band Navigator. They came and that's how I met him, and then he started rapping and stuff. But he was one of the first people to put me on to Kemet, to be honest. I kind of was like hip, and I'd actually think I'd seen a few videos, but he was like, bro, you hip to this? He's also the same person who put me on to Young Lean.
Oh shit, that's rare.
When Hurt had like 200 views.
Right.
So shout out to Crime Wave, you know. But yeah, you know, Kemet is like the godfather of this shit. I mean, to break down the actual influence, people heard Kemet's music and thought to themselves, oh, this is music? Maybe I can make music. You know, it was something they hadn't heard before, and it wasn't a production like this, or it wasn't this art. It was just something so fresh and new and raw that it inspired so many people. And, you know, I'm so blessed to be his friend because he's opened so many doors for me. Ned, you know, Tracy, GBC, they would not be around me or know who I am if it wasn't for this man at all. Like, and I could name hundreds of people tonight. It's like we go to the show. If I'm not with Kemet, I'm just Catxscan. But there's no reason to talk to me. But it's like it's the strength of your people.
Right, exactly.
Oh shit, you're
Off the
his
strength of
man's.
me,
Like, damn,
yeah.
what's up? Like, let's lock in, yada yada.
Yeah.
And that's the same, for me. Like, if I see a friend of mine, be close with someone, I'm gonna want to, we surround ourselves around like-minded people.
And you got that same respect out here too. Like,
We gotta open doors for each other.
Exactly.
So, can we talk about this tape/single that dropped called Swamp Possum and Schmackaholics and how that came together?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, like, to be honest, like, Smackaholics is kind of rare because, like, when I make music for the most part, like, it usually takes me, like, almost a year to put out music and shit. Like, because I'm, like, so meticulous about, like, the mixing and, like, the release and having, like, all the videos and shit ready before, like, I drop any project. Like, it usually takes at least a year. But this was rare because this was just, like, a bunch of songs that we made, like September and shit of this year, like in like 1 or 2 sessions and shit, and it came out like maybe like a month or 2 later, which is like the fastest I've dropped a project in probably like 10 years and shit. So it was just like hella raw to me to even put that out like that, for real. Like, it brought me back to like my old like 2013 like era when I would just drop like anything type shit. Like,
now that we grown and we've made music long enough that we understand how to make music, when we see a friend that might not live in our area, it's lock in.
Yeah, exactly.
We pull up on each other, 40 songs in 2 days.
Okay.
And in the now, just yesterday, we've gone through all the sessions from the past 4 times we've hung out. It's like, okay, let's listen to these 100 songs that we haven't really listened to and start to pick out some that we want to
even
release.
longer than that, because we want to be back to 2018.
Yeah. Those, evolutions.
There's also a very rare character on that tape that I'm very curious if you guys can tell me about how you two met. The one and only Vincent is sad.
Oh, well, he's got to start that story for real.
Vincent was living in Virginia. He was getting into some trouble.
Oh no,
we didn't know who this man was. I'm just giving you his story.
Okay.
Crashing cars, taking Xans, all that.
Was this during the Zandemic?
It was. And his family, they needed to figure something out for him. So he had some grandparents in Oregon. And they told him, hey, you're going to go live with your grandparents and you're going to work for them and do that. He's like, all right. So he starts doing some research on Oregon. And he wanted to be a rapper, and he was rapping out there. And he looks up Portland rappers. Literally Googles Portland rappers. And my name came up because I had a show with Dylan Ross that was about to happen at Paris Theater. That was the first result on Google for some reason. So he's like, oh, okay, Catxscan. This dude got a show coming up. Oh my God. He DMs me.
Yeah.
And he DMs me, and I could pull up the DM right now. It's my first Twitter DM with him. It's so long. Hey, I know you don't know who I am, but my name is Vincent, and I'm about to move to Oregon, and I Googled Portland rappers, and you're the first one that came up, and I just had a couple questions for you. 1, how do I get on shows? 2, who do I record with? 3, who should I fuck with? Yada, 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 yada. And for some reason, I saw it, and I just instantly replied. And I was like, hey, man, you caught me on a good day. Let me answer all these questions. And then I was kind of a douchebag cool guy at the end of the message. I'm like, well, that's all the free game I can give you now. If you want more, that costs a little money. But essentially, he got out to Oregon, and he listened to what I said. Every single person I told him to contact, he reached out to, and they started working. And it actually took a long time for him and I to meet. I was up here, and he was in Eugene, and we never really met, essentially. Right. But he would keep in contact. And long story short, I went to Indiana. I got extorted, lost all my money, came back, was fucked up, beefed with my roommate. He essentially kicked me out, and Vincent hits me up the next day. How are you, bro? How am I? Well, I'm not doing very well. I'm looking for a situation to get into. What's good with you? What do you mean? You need a spot to live? I'm like, yeah, I need a spot to live, actually. That's crazy. Well, just come to Eugene. I'll just get you a house. I say, what? Excuse me? Just come to Eugene. I got you. bro, don't play with me. I'll come right now.
Right.
What is wrong with you? Why would you say that? No, I got a couple friends that need a spot. I'm just gonna get everyone a spot. All right, I'm heading down right now. So I get to Eugene, then I go to actually their house. They were living with our friend John. And I pull up, and there's just a bunch of heads in the house, and they all like, yep, Vincent told us he was getting us a spot. And there's people from all over. Arkansas, they flew in. Like, oh, yeah, we met Vincent on the internet, too. He was on acid, found his video online, and we messaged him, yo, you're amazing. He said, what you guys doing? Oh, beefing with my mom we live with. Oh, just come to Oregon. I'll get you a spot. So all these people who've never met and have never even really met Vincent are just in this house wondering, what's about to happen?
Is he about the serial killer?
Right.
all of a sudden, he pulls up. I just got the crib, y'all. Let's all go. And, this was Vincent selfishly kind of trying to create a house of like-minded people. Like, he handpicked everyone. Oh, I want this person in the house. Ooh, I want this person. This person does this. We got to all be lit.
Right.
And it was super lit. It was a really good time for a long time. But as all good things do, they come to an end. And we all kind of ended up going separate ways. But because of that love Vincent showed me and staying with him and living with him, we're just gonna be friends for life, like no matter what. And I remember one day sitting on the floor, I asked him, bro, do you think there's anything that could possibly happen that would make us not be friends? And he's like, no, not at all. And we've gotten into it before, but it lasted 2 seconds. We could just never like have a problem. And I feel that way for most of my friends. Even my friends that I'll have a huge problem with, I still love them the same. And I won't be afraid to air that out in front of them. Like, I hate you for this, or
Right.
I'm so mad about this, but I still love them. Like,
That's
and
honesty.
I'll always love them. There's nothing that could take away that love. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't have friendships that last that long, is what I've noticed. I tell someone, oh, I've known this person 10 years. I've known this person. Oh, I don't know anyone longer than a year. And it's like, well, that's what's wrong with the world.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with them.
And
Like,
that's something I'm very thankful for, because I would be nowhere without all my friends. So
Shout out, friend.
that's how I met Vincent, though.
yeah, and I met Vincent through him. Like, he had just like introduced us through like the internet and shit. We had been talking for a while, but I didn't meet him until like maybe like a year and a half ago. And after that, he just showed me mad love and shit. And to be honest, like, he had been hitting me up for a while, like back when he had like first did a song with Lil B and shit, and he was like trying to work on music. But like, I just didn't like any of his songs. Like, it just wasn't my cup of tea, to be honest. But when I met him and like saw him record like in person and shit, and saw like how effortless and like free it was, I was like, oh nah, he got some shit. Like, it made me look at his music completely differently and shit.
Yeah.
To the point where now I'm just like a #1 fan type shit. Like, everything he dropped, I be on it. Like, in the comments.
I love Vinny. I think Vinny is like an artist where it's like, it's one of those things where I think Vinny is a little bit of an acquired taste, but I say that
Definitely.
as somebody who is like, I love what he does. He's
Right.
like, there's a couple people that I've met here. Granted, I feel like you're on this kind of way, but this is the first time we've met. But I see Vinny more like, he's a song a day kind of guy. Like, he's just the most raw expression, and I love that shit.
And it takes people so much time to catch on. People have no idea what they like until someone tells them what they like, and they don't know. Everyone wants to have fun, so they see someone having fun, and then they're like, "Oh wow, I want to do that. I want to have fun." And Vincent, when I first became friends with him, everyone would say the same thing. Why do you support his music? You like his music? You actually like this? Now those same people are the ones commenting goat emojis on his post.
Yeah, that's usually how that shit works.
So, but I love that. That's how it should be. It's like, that's what I wanted, So it just takes people time to catch on, and being an acquired taste is good. With the internet now, there's a niche for everything.
Right.
Everything. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier before we started filming, that, you can have anything you want. Everything we have, we wanted. Everything we don't have, we didn't want enough. And if Vincent wants to take it to the highest level, he can. For sure.
Yeah, he got the ability for sure.
Okay, so so I'm curious about a couple things, specifically when it comes to No Pain.
Yeah.
And when I listen to that project, like opposed to, granted, I know more. I'm more of a newer Catxscan fan, and know,
Yeah.
granted, the like more your like last 2 years and the whole discog, but like just listening to it and seeing some of your other stuff, that one seems like a very personal kind of project.
I would say all my music is extremely personal.
But like, is there? You said essentially that you're like you have like a million unreleased songs.
Yeah, we could show them right now.
What makes you like, for like example, for like a project like that? What makes you like choose like no these like 12 songs?
Well, I'm really big on passion projects, so there has to be a vision. You know, before I ever put a body of work out and made an album, I was just kind of putting out random songs I would make, and then. Random fact. I don't know if I ever said this before, but I was on Curb Lagoop's Spotify when all the artists first started getting on distro. Shout out to Kemet for putting me on to getting on all the platforms, because I remember being like, bro, how are you on Spotify? This is way back in the day.
No, I
was
remember.
like, oh, this is how you do it. But I remember
all that.
I was on Curb Lagoop's Spotify. I'm like, how does he have all these albums?
Right.
And this is 2015.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? He has all these bodies of work. And that was really inspiring to me, because I don't want just random singles on SoundCloud. I wanted to have bodies of work that when I pass, I left a legacy with.
Right.
So that was when I first started like conceptualizing albums. And the very first project I put out, it was kind of a more mishmash vibe. I had a vision behind it. But right after that, this producer from Australia, Slavery, he randomly reached out and was like, I really want to work with you. And this was the first time that someone had sent me all these beats and really wanted to hear me on them. Not just like, hey, I sent you a beat or yada. It's like, yo, I made this beat for you. I want to hear you on this beat. Like, you're raw, yada, yada. And it was such an honor because they had worked with a bunch of artists I really respected. And so we started making music, collaborating, which led to us say, hey, let's make an album together. And so we made this album, Guardian Angel. He produced every single song, and we worked on it together. A real collaboration every day. What if it was like this? What if the first song was about this? What if, yada, yada. And that workflow has just inspired the rest of my career because it was so fun and it was spiritual, and that's what I love about this genre too, is there's just no limits. The collaboration is endless. You could have, people always complain nowadays, like the industry. Oh, there's 4 heads on the loop. 4 heads made the melody for this beat. That's so trash. No, that's not. That's what makes it good. All these different people collaborating. So as far as No Pain and that whole trilogy, it was a passion project with my brother Max.
Yeah.
Me and Max have made tons of songs, and most of them were unreleased, and I just wanted to give him shine. I wanted people to hear his beats, and I was like, bro, we got to make a project. And he initially threw out the idea I wanted it to be called Real Pain because I wanted to be all your real pain. And so the first project is all my real pain. I have every song has a real subject to it. But we made so many songs for that record that I'm like, maybe we shouldn't just stop at one, which led to Raw Pain. And Raw Pain was essentially the DLC for Real Pain, just like the continuation. So after we had those 2 projects that were pretty much effortlessly made, like I made all the songs in 2-3 days for both projects. It was like, okay, now let's refine the sound and try to take it to a new level. And to be completely honest, I'm disappointed with No Pain. But I think that's just because I put a pressure on myself that I would never be able to live up to. And I'm usually someone that makes a body of work and puts it out because I had the vision. Like, I'm making this to do this, and I get it out. No Pain was the first time it's like, no, let's make 100+ songs and pick out the best ones. And it was hard. It was, how do I do it? I don't know. It's actually painstaking, especially making a track list.
Yeah.
I'm so passionate about the order of the songs, which is silly because today's day and age, people don't even listen to the album from start to finish.
Right.
But that's just something that I'm passionate about, and I always will be. And I'll go back and forth listening to song transitions for 2 hours. Like, just because it matters to me. So it's just a process, just time. Is how I decide. And as far as choosing what to drop, if I don't have a vision for a project, like right now I'm making this album New Arc.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this whole vision behind it, so it's effortless. But as far as songs like Yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
it has to have energy from someone else. Someone else says, "Oh, you gotta put this out," and if they press me long enough, okay, do it. Let's do it. You know, it has to have energy behind it that's not just mine, because I have too many random songs that I'm thinking about that aren't out anyways.
So when you're like making a project, are you trying to like hone in on a sound, or do you just kind of make music as it goes and then you're like, this is for the project? Or like, what's your process behind that? For like example, you were saying you were going to make like 100 songs and you were going to pick the best ones, but like those 100 songs, you're like, these are for this project.
Yeah. So for the No Pain sessions, I was probably doing 12 songs a day, 6 to 12 songs a day. And they're all produced by Max.
Yeah.
But they're all different types of beats. And I was doing different things on each one. Real experimentation. I wasn't trying to, let's only make music like this. Let's only make music like that. It was a continuation of the 2 previous records. So it's just an evolution on that sound. And before we really locked in, I'm trying to give him inspiration for the beats. Like, we need to, you was there actually when we really broke down the concept of the album. And I don't know if I really achieved my vision with it, but each project is completely different.
Yeah.
And right now I'm making a project, not New Arc, but this other one, this new brand new sound I have that I'm about to unveil. This has been like the most targeted sound I've ever done. Like I've made a sound and I'm like, oh, I'm going to keep making this.
Yeah.
Never really done that before. It's usually just been more like,
go with the flow kind of deal.
Maybe I'll work with a producer and we make a bunch of music together, but it's not like, hey, let's make the same song every time.
Yeah.
Right now with this one sound I have, it's the first time I've really kind of just rinse and repeat it, because I like the sound and I like listening to it. And I've always just made music that I want to listen to. That's my only goal. Always, you know, just something that I would actually play and enjoy.
We were just talking about No Pain, produced by Max Bet. I'm kind of curious, and I feel like you would be the one to know about this. What's up with the producer tag?
I'm so glad you asked. The producer tag, want a beat from Max Bet, was said by popular recording artist Yeet. When he first started, Max was one of the first people that showed him love and recorded him. He didn't reach out to Yeet. Yeet reached out to him because someone's like, oh, I know someone that has a little studio. And he started recording with Max. And Max would record him for free and give him beats. And Yeet was one of the first artists I heard of doing 12 songs in a night. Especially out here. And, I mean, you know, that's the type of stuff Future and Drake talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, I linked with Future. He made 12 songs in a night. I couldn't keep up. Well, that was Yeet, and he was young, and he was pretty much doing it off the dome, just coming up with these insane flows. And I wasn't hip to this, but Max reached out to me like, bro, there's this kid I'm recording, Yeet. He's something. Like, he's really got it. And he sent me some songs, and there was one that just blew my mind. I was just obsessed with it. And yeah, Yeet said, bro, you don't got a tag? Let me get you a tag. And to this day, he's still rocking with it. I mean, it's just a piece of history at this point. And, you know, you could say that Yeet's on every single song that I have with Max Bet, if you want to look at it like that.
No cap.
But what I will say, and this is a question for anyone watching, I don't actually know what the tag says. Is it on a beat from Max Bet? Is it wanna beat from Max Bet? I don't know. And you have to ask Yeet, I guess.
Why do you think Yeet doesn't fuck with us? Not when I say us, I mean Portland.
I would say so many different reasons.
Do you think it's valid?
No. Especially someone like Max. Like, how are you gonna not contact or reach out or show love to the person that gave you opportunity to make music? Because if you didn't get recorded for free and free beats and have a space to practice and learn how to rap, would you even be the person you are? And you have to show love to them. And that's just like the worst thing about the industry, fake love, all these artists is like people show this love at the beginning and then forget about it. On both ends, you know? Like there's no reason you should forget about someone like Max. But as far as the city goes, there's no reason to show loyalty to Portland. It's not like the city ever fucked with him. Even when Max was trying to put people on and say, yo, you got to believe in this kid, listen to his music, no one was getting on board. I did because I love music and I heard a song that impressed me. But if I wouldn't have heard that song, I would have just been like, okay, he's just another artist that makes music, you know? And that's the thing with this city. Like right now, my bro Vier, I'm a big fan. And I think he has a lot of support and he's in a really good place, but people are haters. It's music is a tough sell to someone. If you really like, listen to this song, isn't it fire? People are just quick to say like, no, I don't like it, which is fine. Everyone is valid to their own opinion. But if everyone said they didn't like Yeat's music, but now they all love it, he has no reason to be loyal to the city.
Yeah, no. Valid.
Because they weren't loyal to him, yeah.
You know, he only did 1-2 shows out here too. It's not like he, you know, built his fan base here. He was pretty quick to leave, and it wasn't until he was in New York, LA that he got traction. So yeah, and I don't mean to speak on bro too, because I'm not. I've never been close with him, you know, and really Max would be someone better to speak on this situation. But I do know Nextel, and I've known him long as I've known him almost. You know, way before he was Nextel. So just knowing that side of Yeat's career, you know, that person in Yeat's career, I just have my own vision of like the rise to fame, and you know, now they don't really rock together anymore either. So yeah.
So with you guys being both, in your own words, 10 years plus in the game, what is the weirdest studio story you guys can tell me about?
You go first.
You got one?
Nah, you go first.
I have to think.
Me too. That's why I say you go first. It's so
weirdest
many.
studio story
Or worst.
So
Weirdest or worst?
I don't know. Like, I just have to start reliving memories. There's nothing that just comes straight to my mind.
So many.
Let's narrow the question down. Like,
You have like a cursed experience.
I got one. All right, so I was in a session with Posh God from Metro Zoo and shit, legendary ass producer. Also goes by Freebase, and I think I was off like the Zans and maybe like acid and shit. And him and this girl, Bree, she's a fire ass DJ too. They came through my crib to record and shit, and like I was just like busting out hella tracks on his beats and shit. And I did this one track called like Omnipresent and shit, where I was just talking about like hella like spiritual shit and like feeling in tune with the universe and shit. And then like I got a call like maybe like right after I did that song, I found out my great grandma had died and shit.
Damn.
And that shit just hit me hella crazy and shit, because I was like, damn, I was just talking about being one with the universe and all this, and then this like person was like a monumental figure in my life just died type shit. So it was like I don't know, it kind of felt like I like channeled some shit low key, like even just from the state I was in and just making music and shit at the same time. Like it was a serendipitous moment, but definitely a weird one for sure.
I make music by myself most of the times, and I'm never really in like big studio sessions. But one of the craziest things I've ever seen, this isn't a bad thing, but I was in the studio session this one time, and we go outside to smoke, whatever. There's hella heads, and the cops roll by, and then they kind of roll by again, and everyone that's outside pulls out a gun and just points it at the cops. And I'm like tweaking, because I'm like, well, I'm going to jail. I'm getting arrested right now. Like, the cop just dashes like never comes back around.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, wow, we're so lucky. Like, how did that happen? You know?
What part of the world was this in?
This is in Portland.
This was over here.
Southwest and Kelly, second and Kelly. Momentum
shit.
Studios. Shout out Zeb and shout out Downstairs Zone. Yeah.
God, that implies that that's like just like a thing they do. Like they're just like, okay, he's here. Everybody just fucking pull
It was
out
the
your
most
guns.
wicked shit I ever seen in my life. I couldn't believe
It's
it.
not like GTA.
Yeah,
Shit,
quite
It was a
literally.
movie. But yeah, I record people as well, like engineer for them,
Mhm.
and that entails a whole, you know, you never know what you're gonna get with that. Whether it's someone just being too fucked up to record or trying to bring people. I'll tell you something that's more secondhand. My bro, who's an engineer, he records this fellow. And the dude's always like, "Oh, can my baby mama come? Like my baby mama's gonna come, you know." So I guess maybe they used to be together when they first started recording there, but then they broke up. But obviously, it's still his baby mama. So the most recent time he came to the studio, he's with his baby mama and her new man, who is like an old guy. Like this dude's like younger than me, but then his baby mama's new man is like 60 and he's like addicted to this weird phone game. And so the dude's trying to record this song, and then the baby mama's new man is on the phone like, "Oh, I leveled up." And my bro who's recording them is like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, recording people, it never ends. It's always something. And then, you know, the people that want to be rappers, it's colorful cast. So
A lot of psychos.
but I love it. I'm someone that isn't easily off put by stuff. It's just humorous to me, like entertainment and
Swag. Kemet, ever before I ever found out about you, I saw this little plush thing smoking a blunt.
Oh, big blunt buddy. Yeah.
And I'm curious about what is the origin of that and like how that became a little bit of a kind of a phenomenon or it lived his own little life.
Literally beyond me and shit.
Because the first time I saw it, it was like I don't even remember. It was like probably like Justin Bieber, Krayshawn, some shit like that.
It was probably Krayshawn. I don't know if Justin Bieber got one yet, but
I think it was like Elton John or some shit like that.
But nah, how that really came about was my homie BT, shout out WRC and shit. He does like all my videos. We've been working like over 10 years type of shit.
it's actually how we met.
Literally. Like he like
He reached out to me like, "Bro, you should fuck with
shit.
Kemet." I didn't know who dude was or Kemet really. I was like, okay.
Yeah, and then we've been locked in ever since and shit. But he had drew like this design of me for like a DJ cover that I did, maybe like I want to say like 2015 and shit. And then like I had always fucked with like the style of that design, but it was just maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I was like, I should like make this into a doll type shit. So I like went about like finding the right manufacturers and like going back and forth with samples for like mad long and shit. And then I finally found somebody who like made like the ideal version of what I wanted. And then after that, it was really just about like marketing for real. Like I just was like sending it out to like influencers and podcasts and just people who I fucked with, to be honest. Just like be like, I want you to have this because I feel like you would fuck with this. Like you're what the brand needs type shit. But the biggest look I got was like I had sent some in the No Jumper, and they had like a live podcast that they were doing and shit.
Actually, I think that's probably the very first time I saw it because there was an era when No Jumper was doing that live show shit, and it was actually interesting. Right now, not so much, but I remember when there was like a moment where it was like
that was all they did.
Yeah, it was like
shit.
AD and T-Rail and all that shit.
To
were
the
on
culture,
there.
yeah.
But this is the No Jumper show, so it was Adam, House Phone.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know
and
what you
AD
mean.
and
We're
shit.
like, yeah.
And they didn't take it down.
Nah,
No,
it's still up.
They had
stayed
the
up in that
game.
little
They had the
cubby
game
thing.
on there, and it was
Literally.
up there the whole game interview.
It's so many interviews that shit is in, but
that's hard.
they like did a live unboxing on the podcast.
Yeah,
and
no,
shit,
I
wound
remember
up
that.
opening my shit, and then he was like, "Oh shit, this is hard. Like I fuck with this. Shout out to Big Blunt Buddy, man." He was like,
Did you
"We
send
gonna
it to
put
House
this up?"
Phone?
Nah, I just sent
Just
it
the
into
No
the No
Jumper,
Jumper like
damn.
office and shit. Yeah, and Adam wound up opening. He just like shouted me out, like said, "Go fuck with him, follow him on IG," and they got me like my first like couple hundred followers on there for real. Like hella love.
New plush coming soon too. V2.
Yeah, V2 on the way too,
Oh,
man.
And
shit.
No
the
cap.
Blunt Buddy V2 is so special because it actually stands up.
Yeah,
The other one
it's an
stands up
upgrade.
too, but it's more of like a caterpillar cocoon
Right.
body.
This one stands on
This
its
is,
own.
This is like an octopus.
Whole different level.
It's holding itself up with accessories.
Yeah, it's functional. Like you can,
way
this
more.
pockets everything.
Feng shui.
Yeah. Coming soon, June, man. Be out this summer.
Okay, so this is gonna seem a little bit random, but maybe not. There's this video game franchise I'm really curious about if you have any opinions on. It's called Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. I knew where you were going. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It just means so much to me. What do you want to know?
Do you feel like there would be a Catxscan if there was no Kingdom Hearts?
No.
Why is that?
It's just influential to the art I create. Maybe I would go by Cat. Maybe people calling me Cat's unrelated to Kingdom Hearts, but as far as the art I make, it's integral. Think as a child, the first time I saw the commercial, which was just like Disney meets this, like 100 Disney characters, and it was really the song Simple and Clean playing in the commercial that was so appealing as a child. Like, what is this? This is
the instant classic.
And then also, like, I grew up watching Disney movies. Like,
Yeah.
I like the old classics. So I was like, they made a game that looks cool with all this in it? So odd. And the story was just so emotional to me. And the first game is so whimsical, so simple. It's just like, boy loses his friends and wants to find them. But as time goes on, the story just becomes so much more complex. And, I waited 14 years for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out. And it felt like a dream. And when it finally came out, me and this man, Gaz, played it the whole way through, one sitting, and it was just a spiritual experience. I mean, I even went, I don't know if this was drug-induced or not, but I was like, yeah, maybe like I made Kingdom Hearts like from a, I was in another body and I had to make this to inspire my art and all this stuff. And Nomura, the writer director of the games, he's just so inspiring to me, not only as a character artist, because he did all the characters for Final Fantasy VII and all types of stuff, but the way he conceptualizes the story for Kingdom Hearts is just mind-boggling. And right now there's all this new lore because they keep making these phone games with all this important lore. It's a little too intensive. But Kingdom Hearts 4, they did drop a trailer like a year or two ago now. No news since. And there's so many burning questions that the fans have that hopefully will get some answers in Kingdom Hearts 4. I hopefully won't have to wait another 14 years. My biggest fear is Nomura passing and not being able to continue the series, because we see things like Metal Gear, it left Kojima's hands, and now Konami is like kind of making new Metal Gear, but not involving him.
Hollow.
And luckily, like, the most recent thing they're going to come out with is Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. And that's a remake, so hopefully they don't butcher it, but I just pray they don't make like a new story for Solid Snake. Or
They definitely will. Didn't they do that like multiplayer game?
Yeah,
deal?
they made Metal Gear Survive. What was that? But that's one of my biggest fears with Kingdom Hearts. And the thing about this is kind of long-winded. I apologize, but Square Enix, y'all are the devil. I grew up on Square Soft. This is before they merged with this other company. And Final Fantasy VII, which came out in 97 or something. It's about the evil corporation Shinra, who is sucking the planet's life source dry and using it to make this new energy source called Mako Energy, which they power all these towns, and there's people who live in these slums, and the rich people live above them on these plates, and there's this terrorist group, the good terrorists, eco-terrorists, that are trying to take down Shinra. And at this point in time, fast forward to 2024, Square Enix is literally Shinra.
In real life, yeah.
And they're making Final Fantasy VII Remake right now, which is, I love it. I'm a fan. But the thing is like the business practices of that company are just really sad. And hopefully they don't. Hopefully Kingdom Hearts 4 doesn't come out and is littered with microtransactions and
DLCs.
I'm sure a remake will come out before Kingdom Hearts 4 because they don't nobody wants innovation anymore. They just want that nostalgia
It's
money.
crazy. Games suck now.
Yeah.
Like,
There's no
Just for the
innovation.
cash grab.
they suck.
I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like nothing, I mean, at least personally, has felt as like, whoa, since like even like the 360 PS3.
Yeah.
Because PS4 was like, I mean, like, yeah, that looks
Yeah.
better.
Right.
PS5, you're like, I mean,
Same
yeah.
with PS5.
PS5 is,
like,
it's like,
I mean,
well,
like, yeah, technically, like,
I guess.
but it's like so slowly over time that you're like,
Yeah.
you don't even notice it. Whereas like,
get
these
desensitized.
N64, you're like, these motherfuckers are in 3D. They're in 3D
Literally.
now.
It's been no.
Well, no, I'm
major
not gonna lie. That PS3 360 jump was huge.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was
First
like the
time you seen
that
all
was
those
the
games
last
in the
time.
magazines, it was like, oh, this is new. This looks so real.
Look like
That's
a
what I mean. It was like
movie,
the
yeah.
last time that it felt like,
Yeah.
wow.
Then
Other
it's
than
just-
like VR, but VR feels like anytime I put a VR headset on, I'm like, I feel like I'm doing something bad. Where I'm like, I
agree.
should be doing something productive.
Right.
I don't
Like
know how
you're
to
in
explain
too
it. Like,
deep and
yeah,
shit.
where I'm like, I feel sped. Like,
I have
I'm
not
like,
been sold on VR at all.
It's fun. To
I mean,
me.
I owned a headset for a while, but like every game is like, it's too much. I played the hot shot thing, the like slow motion red
Oh no,
guy
that
thing.
game's fire.
But like that's simple, you know what I mean? That's like for the equivalent of VR. That's like Mario, like simple. Everything else, I'm like, this is a slippery slope.
Right, it's gonna fry your brain eventually and shit.
Yeah, shout out all the 13-year-olds that are gonna run the world someday. That fucking spend every single second
Yeah,
in those.
Shout out to my little
demons.
brother, man. He loves VR.
Okay, so I'm curious about. I don't know. I at least personally. Oh, okay, maybe not personally, but what I've seen, I haven't seen too many videos from you past the one that Queg did, and there's this other video that I'm very curious about because it has like a really strong concept to it. The one you did with Zach Olson,
Shout out to Zach.
W video.
Yeah,
and how
there you
that
go.
came. I'm curious about how that came together. Was that like something that you came to him or?
So originally, when I dropped the song on this project, True Angel, he reached out. Hey, I love this song. I want to shoot a video to it. This is my concept. This is my idea. But the thing is, he didn't really have video work yet.
Mhm.
So I was like, yeah, show me like some examples of your work.
So this
And,
was like way back in the day.
I mean, I think he just is it with how much work he already has out. He was just new to the game.
Oh.
I mean, this is True Angel probably dropped. I don't know, 3-4 years ago now.
At this point.
So yeah, he reached out and his concept, it was kind of fishy to me. It was like, yeah, it's gonna be green screen and your head's gonna be floating and there's gonna be lightning and yada yada and then pages of books
Yeah,
flying
shit.
around and I'm like, yeah, like let me see what you've done and it's like, well, I haven't done any videos. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I just
How
kind
you
of
think you're gonna do this?
I just kind of
Yeah.
ducked it, and I think maybe even we did schedule something, but then I was just not feeling it that day, and I was depressed or something. I'm like, I'm good. Sorry, I got to cancel. And so then time went on, and he started doing all these videos, and I remember he did this video from a Conan where they're in ground control, the arcade,
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking
and
about.
I was just blown away. I was like, how he evolved so quick. This is like one of the best videos I ever seen out of the town. And I think I just, let him know, like, bro, I'm really impressed with your work. But I wasn't like begging for a visual.
Mhm.
And eventually he came back around like, hey, I still want to shoot that. How can I make you happy? And I still got the same concept. And I was like, let's run it. Pulled up on me. And I mean, this was the most I've been directed in my life.
Mhm.
He knew move your head like this, do this, like lay down on the bed like this. And I mean, we shot, it was like a real shoot,
Right.
like every little part of it was just so professional and he worked so hard and he had the video sent back to me the next day.
The next
I
day.
swear, like this dude is the hardest working dude I've ever met. And he's so on point. He's just so on point. And we do more videos, but he's just a busy guy. So he's in LA every other week, shooting for 6 different artists and just killing it. I'm such a fan. And I think he's a better videographer than Cole Bennett. And all respect and love to Cole Bennett, but
I co-sign.
I think he just has more creative vision once he has the money and resources to actually do things. Because he's doing all this with no budget.
Right.
Yeah.
No budget. He's
Out
doing
the
all
mud.
of this. So just imagine when he has a little bit of money to put into things.
It's gonna be a whole different level for sure.
So
But that was all him. All him. All Zach.
Okay, so this is a question that's kind of for both of you guys,
Mm-hmm.
especially. I hate that I keep honing on the 10 years thing, but it's one
important.
of those things that I think
Legacy.
it is important. It's core to the extent that like I feel like we're in the post-SoundCloud era, and you guys say 10 years. That means you fucking saw the birth and death of that whole thing.
Post SoundCloud
Yeah,
era.
we're in
the post.
We're in
You
the
ain't wrong.
post SoundCloud era.
Yeah, I feel like it's a revival.
Well, yeah, but like,
But it's not SoundCloud anymore. You're
Yeah,
right. It's just
yeah.
underground.
Sound.
The underground's having a revival, but it's not.
yeah, where it's
Not
like
SoundCloud
I'm starting
itself.
to, you're starting to see people that are like, not. It's even like the like all the people that were inspired, like Peep and X Suicide Boys, that kind of like icky wave. There's like people like the whole lot of Red Kids is like a whole thing. You know what I mean?
The
Like,
Opium
yeah.
Kids. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeet
Opium
in
Babies.
general, like
Yeah.
the Yeet clones and shit.
But I'm curious though, because definitely you guys wouldn't have been making the music that you were. What was like the first song or album that like really shifted your view on it? Because I'm like,
Black
you guys are
Smurf Execution 1999, I think is the name of the song.
Wait, but change your view on what?
like, you guys were probably obviously listening to hip hop or have some like core something. What was like the first like internet era song that you're like,
Well, actually,
oh shit,
Kemet Dank Thought Gang, you know, which I watched on YouTube, not SoundCloud. But yeah, that song was, like I said, for everyone. For anyone that has been making music as long as me, that was one of the ones. Another one is Young Lean Hurt.
oh yeah,
For
Young
sure.
Lean was that was
I
the
was making
one.
music, but that was just like, okay, this is a whole new thing. This is cool. I like this. It's fresh. You know, the visual and the aesthetic was unique for the time, and it just showed, you know, you can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
For me, I don't know. I feel like it would have to be like a Lil B song, to be honest, because like for like most of my like music career, like I was listening to like mainstream rap. I was listening to other shit too, like rock and like
Yeah.
pop and shit, but mainstream rap was pretty much all I listened to until like 2000, like 10, 11 when I first started making music. And I used to just like drop a freestyle every day on YouTube type shit, just like playing beats off of a PSP and like recording myself on my phone and shit.
Hard. That
And
is-
then like people,
And
just,
this is
like,
all still up. If you go on this man's
it's on
channel
my
and just
YouTube
scroll all
right
the way
now
back,
and shit, like 2010, 11, all this shit. I got shit from 2007 on my YouTube, to keep it 100, but that's a different story.
ghetto fights.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, I was just uploading a video every day, and then somebody was like, "Bro, you on your Lil B shit?" And I was like, "Who the fuck is Lil B?" And then he showed me, like, I just started looking them up after the dude said this, and I saw like it was probably like Violate That Bitch or something and shit. And I was like, "Oh, bro, this dude's on a whole different wave. Like, I'm fucking with this." And I watched like an interview he did with MTV where they like followed him around and shit, like a day in the life with him. And he was like in his room, he was like, "Yeah, I like to jack off with like candles lit and like set the mood and shit. Like, I like to be intimate." I'm like, "Oh, I'm fucking with this dude. He's my vibe." But ever since then, I was just like deep into underground music. And then it got to a point where like, I really started getting deep into making my own music, like 2012, 13, where like I was like, I'm not gonna listen to anybody's music that doesn't follow me on Twitter. So it was just like, cause it was like I had this idea in my head where like all these mainstream artists that I listen to don't know who I am, will never acknowledge me, don't give a fuck about me at all. But these dudes who are on Twitter actually, like, I have the chance to chop it up with them, like, reach out to them. They might tweet me back and shit. Like, I'd rather show them love and support their shit than somebody who doesn't give a fuck about me at all. You feel me?
And even at the show today, people coming up, I know you off Twitter.
Literally.
Like, bro, remember you was on
Literally.
Twitter. And it's like, yeah, it's something as silly as Twitter, but it's like a long life connection.
But that shit changed my life. Like, that mindset in general. Like, I was only listening to, like, Lil B, Wiz. No, yeah, I was listening to Wiz, but he didn't follow me on Twitter. Soulja Boy, Riff Raff, Agoff and shit. And then it led up to the point where I actually, like, met Agoff, and that was really, like, what started my career in music and shit. Like, just off of that mindset of listening to these people who, like, fucked with me.
Speaking of oversaturation that we were talking about earlier, when the waves on SoundCloud first started, every artist was so different.
yeah.
No one was biting someone else. You had all these pillars like Curb Lagoon.
Mm-hmm.
You, rest in peace, Flash Giordani.
Metro Zoo.
Yeah, and everyone was so unique. Black Smurf, like they had their own sound, and they were from where they were from, and they did their own thing. There was no one like, oh, I'm gonna make music like him. I'm gonna bite him, and that's the worst part about the oversaturation is there's just so many songs that are just derivative.
Yeah.
People just hear a sound and they're like, we want to make music like that. And now with music becoming more accessible to make and everyone having the same presets and recording the same way, it's just like, it's just knockoff of the last artist that was popular. And that it's just so, it gets so exhausting to listen to.
Yeah.
I feel like some people use biting as like a crutch to like learn how to make music in the first place. Just like, oh, I can make some shit like this to like learn how to rap, learn how to get a flow, learn how to hit a beat, you know? And then they'll slowly over time develop their own sound and their own shit. But some people never do that.
It used to be when you was on SoundCloud browsing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, whether you are just going in related tracks or you looking at someone's likes, every artist you listen to sounded completely different.
Facts.
There was no resemblance to anything else. And it was so fresh. It was like, wow, listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is so cool. I never heard this. Now it's like you've heard everything. You can listen to 300 songs and say what they're derivative of.
Right.
Oh, this is like this artist. This is like this artist. This is this artist. This is this artist. And some people don't even know where it comes from. And that's something that's crazy too, is people aren't paying homage because they have no idea where the sound came from, you know?
I think a lot of it that like people don't even realize is the fact that, I mean, in general, production has kind of gotten really lazy. Sometimes I'll not in general, but like when it comes to like back in the day, like 2014, 2015, you could go find some type beats and it's like rare, unique, like granted it will be so-and-so Drake type beat, but like nowadays it's like, it's all derivative songs. Like I swear, like type beat producers aren't trying to like get their own sounds out and then they're putting big names on it. They're like, no, this is a fucking Drake type beat. This is a fucking Yeet type beat.
Right.
And so, I mean, I don't know. Like I've gone back and I'm sure you guys still keep a lot of the older shit in rotation, but like you see beats from like 2014, 2015, and they'll be really simple and like you're like to like almost like elementary level simple, but like the sound selection or like the certain like they pick this snare sound, they're like timeless.
We were just talking about
timeless
jerk beats
in a sense, where there's a lot of beats now that like I don't know how to explain it. It will be like very unique, but not like it'll have so much work, so much layers and this and that, but it's like
it won't hit.
Yeah,
well, it's just like you said, it's too derivative.
Yeah,
and, you know, and Yeet beats is the best example. These beats had the producers in a chokehold.
Still do.
Oh yeah, we like send beats. We get 10 packs, all Yeet type beats. And you know what really pissed me off? And this is a fucking shoot on every producer that made beats like this. They all would title them the Yeet writing way, trendy way with the eyes and stuff like,
or love,
bro,
like
L-U-H. If you like, you're not even sending this to Yeet. You're sending this to me. I don't want this. I don't want Yeet type
I don't have
beat.
any songs out that sound like this.
I'm not trying to bite him. Like, you know, I'm trying to do my own thing. So that shit just is crazy. And now there's the jerk beats. That's the new thing. You know, Xavier So Bass, like Netspend, all those type rappers type beats. And I love the sound. I could listen to those beats endlessly. We were just going through type beats the other day, just like shit. Clicking through, and they're all so pretty. And the snare pattern or the claps they use, the groove is always just so crazy. And it's such a fresh sound, and it's nice. Like the Yeet beats they're very easy to tell what they are. It's like, oh, it's a Yeet type beat. It has these characteristics that are so defined. And the jerk beats are the same way, but there's just more space to be creative. Yeah, And that's something that, you know, as far as the oversaturation goes, like the fact that people are still making new sounds is so awesome. It's so inspiring, and so like I'm so thankful. That's another reason we keep going.
Right.
What
that's what inspires me. Like, to be honest, every time like a new sound comes out, just like, oh shit, people are hitting some different shit. Like people are still activating different parts of their brain. Like, to be honest, like that's how it's been for like the past like, I say like 4 or 5 years. There's been like waves that just inspire me to go, like the Flint shit, the Yeet shit, the Milwaukee shit, the Cardi shit. Like it's just hella waves that just keep me like thinking of new ways to create music and shit based off people innovating and making new sounds. Like, it inspires the fuck out of me.
It's one of those weird things though that I've seen where it's like it is cool to see a lot of that, but like it being in the post SoundCloud era, it's one of those things where there's so many people that are sad because deep down they know they hated on all the cool shit before it became popular, that the second anything even remarkably becomes new, everyone and their moms is there. Everyone and their moms is doing that sound. Like the second the fucking, because it was like one of those things where I'm like, you could look at a couple sounds where you were talking about like it's unique. It took like 10 years for that shit to catch on, but so much so now that it almost feels like nothing can even have like that growth. Or there's other artists where I would also compare. I'd bring you up where you're like, say you came up with a new sound completely, that fucking shit gets oversaturated, and you go, I'm just gonna start making music for myself now, because there's probably new sounds being made like every day, but they're like, I'm gonna keep this to myself type shit, because like any new era shit, like immediately like the Flint shit, like that's what everybody in Portland sounds like. There's a lot of people doing that wave and shit, yeah. Like overnight, where like you didn't see that. I mean, like you could say that with like emo rap, but like that was like pillar blocks were building to that before everybody was like starting to do emo rap, where the second a new sound pops up, they're like,
everybody just hops on there,
fucking do that shit.
Yeah, it's mad crazy to see people take a sound like Lil Peep. Everyone was on the Lil Peep sound, and now all those people that made that, in quotes, emo rap, now they make a different type of music.
Right.
Some of them make this type, some of them make this type, but it's just like, y'all, why not just like try to make your own thing?
Exactly.
The most disappointing thing I've ever come across, but to an extent I can get it, is like, I'm sure you guys have done this. You ever go to like a rapper's page and they've been rapping for like 7-10 years, and then you go back, and granted it's fine, your stuff should kind of era the time, but then you're like, oh, this is when Odd Future was popping. This one's when Lil Peep was popping. This is when but then it's like somebody who's been like doing it forever, and you're like, come on, at least be like, I'm Lil Nutsack doing the Odd Future sound, but it still feels like Lil Nutsack, and not like, oh damn, Tyler was. This was when he was.
What I don't like, and I'm actually guilty of this myself to some extent, is when a rapper, when you find their old music, is like contradicting themselves in the way that, like, I found this song the other day. It tripped me out. The whole song was about how like they don't drink lean and how cool they are because they don't need to flex that they drink lean. Their whole persona and image now is that they drink lean.
Lil Yachty?
I'm not gonna say who, but it just blew my mind.
If we're talking Lil Yachty specifically, I feel like that's I feel like that's a good example, but at the same time, bro got that Target bag, and then he was like, probably was sipping lean low key.
Yeah. He said he was doing ass and all types of shit.
He was like, bro, I'm gonna get the Teen Titans Go bag, and then when
he was Sprite first, the first thing he did was Sprite.
Oh yeah, big. He did the cold like Minnesota ad or whatever. I remember that. That's still in retrospect, it's so jarring.
Nautica, it was like back to back to back.
I mean,
but yeah, I don't like when an artist contradicts themselves with later music without addressing it, because it just shows it's fake.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, your music's always just been like some fake shit,
right?
And that's like, yeah, that's another thing about rap music is it's a free form of expression. Anyone can say whatever they want, but I'm not one for all the like lies and capping in the songs. And you know, it's art, but that's a turnoff. And people, it's very easy to tell like what's genuine and what's not. And as far as like gripes with Portland's music scene, I wish that people would just be a little more honest in the music.
Yeah.
As far as the rappers go.
I mean, at least if you're gonna cap in your rap, like, just do some light capping. Can we just do some light capping? Do some like manifesting. Bro, just manifesting. I get it, but like to a certain extent.
Playing shows with people where the rappers on stage talking about like, we get $1 million for a show.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I'm not exaggerating when I say $1 million, and I'm looking at him like, shut the fuck up. You didn't get paid.
Right, we're doing the same
That's
show.
Literally like you're literally The Weeknd. You're like literally like Taylor Swift.
Right.
Like,
It's
the
just,
only way.
but that's the level of cap that people are saying.
yeah,
Right.
no.
Like,
There's another thing that I came across. Granted, I don't know how much you guys do this, where we were talking about, like, when you first start making music, you probably tend to sound like the guy that you're most into at the time. You know, that's the guy that inspired you. You want to do that kind of shit. But eventually you kind of grow into your own thing.
Right.
There's this thing that I think is even worse that has happened with the new kids, is that they try to grab onto the ideology of legacy artists as if it's them right now. For example, they don't act like Kanye year 1. They act like Kanye year 20, even though they're on Lil Nutsack year 1.
with not the music, but their energy of how
Yes.
they act.
The
Yes.
attitude, yeah.
Where it's one of those things where I will see the potential in the artist, and I'm like, you could totally be your own thing. But
Okay.
then they like talk to me crazy,
Well,
where
let's
I'm
get-
like,
I gotta air
What
it out.
is this?
We gotta
Right.
air it
What
out.
have you done to even hit this point? Type shit?
We gotta air this out.
okay.
What?
Portland has a problem right now with faking motion, and what I mean by that,
Fake streams.
yeah, faking streams. But this is even funnier than this. These artists will go on tour. They will have these followings that appear to be something, you know, from someone that might want to start making music
Mm-hmm.
or makes music but gets no plays or traction and has no fans. They might see this and be like, damn, they have all these fans. All these people comment on their posts. Wow. No, that's their friends commenting goat emojis. Like, go look up their Spotify. These artists have 7 monthly listeners, 10 monthly listeners,
Yeah.
4 monthly listeners. And that's fine. But don't act like you're a superstar. There's no reason to, you know, charge someone for a feature
Right.
or, you know,
Put in the groundwork.
or
first,
act like, you know, you're famous. You don't have one fan.
It's very much a new era thing, because it's like there's just so many artists now. It creates like an echo chamber where it's like, well, if we all comment fire emojis on each
Exactly.
other's posts, we all look
Exactly.
like we got
And,
motion.
and I'm saying this
Right.
out loud so people realize that that's the reality of the situation, you know? And just because someone has 10,000 followers doesn't mean that any of them take 2 minutes out of their day to go and actually look up the song that he dropped.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, because especially in this like post-SoundCloud era, there's a lot of people that, at least I'm not gonna say names, there's a handful of people I've worked with, and I really respect them as artists, and I want them to grow into being as that, but they're like in that like in between part, and everybody's falling for all the smoke screen and mirrors, and like they think they can talk to me all sorts of way because, hey, yo, fucking so and so in the scene fucks with me, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
means I'm fucking hot shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
that's
don't know.
another reason that I stopped making appearances everywhere because
And I totally get that, because it
I want
sucks.
everyone to win and I want to support everyone, but I can't co-sign everything.
Well, yeah, where
Especially
it's
when
like,
it's not genuine.
especially if you like music or the people, you should be able to have a fucking opinion.
Exact.
Where it's
Oh
like,
my God.
you're not allowed
That's
to
the
have an
thing.
opinion.
People will ask you for criticism. Hey, what do you think about this song?
better not
well,
tell them what you really
Well,
feel.
yeah, well, what do you want
Even
to
if
know?
you're
like,
like,
well, what I don't know, what do you think about it? And I'll say, oh, well, you know, like, I like this part of it, but I don't like this part of it, or maybe I would change this. You know, this is just my opinion, but this. And they'll look at you, and then, you know, a year down the road, someone's like, oh, you know, this person was talking shit about you. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. So then I see them in person, like, hey, why'd you say this to this person? Like a literal screenshot. They're like, oh, well, you know, remember a year ago I showed you a song and you was hating. No, you asked me for constructive criticism.
Right.
Like,
Now
what
they
do you
can't
want me to
take it
say?
and
Fire,
shit.
bro? Like,
That's not
it
constructive.
makes no
That's
sense.
dick riding.
I hate that shit.
well, it's also very confusing, because it's like, not saying everybody wants to necessarily like be in a room with industry heads, but if you really want to be in the game, and especially with this thing called the internet that you think everybody would be aware of,
Yeah.
motherfuckers are not gonna like you, even if you're the prettiest, sexy. Okay, maybe not that. If you're making
you're
this,
right.
you're the ugliest motherfucker. You're making the sexiest music on earth. Whatever, doesn't matter.
People always
People are not
hate.
gonna like you just because people like you. There's
Right,
always gonna be fucking
exactly.
something.
I gotta go pee real quick.
Okay, so this is a question that is for both of you. If you guys could only show one song that you guys made solo, individually, to somebody to like would say, it doesn't have to be your best song. Just to like, what would you say is a song that like encapsulates who you are as an artist, or who Catxscan is, who Kemet Dank is?
That's one of my least favorite things about having so many songs is I know that.
Okay, like a project.
Well, I just know that so many people will go to my catalog, you know, whether they use Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, and they're going to just click play and it might shuffle a random song. And when you have so many songs, there's going to be so many songs that aren't for someone.
Mm-hmm.
But some songs will be for someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I always just worry that there's been so many people that heard a song of mine they didn't like and they just turned them off forever. Like, oh, I don't like his music.
Right.
And they never wanted to revisit it. And I think I have a lot of songs that encapsulate, me. The very first song on Real Pain, I think it's called Circus. I really like that song. Everything I say in that song is just like powerful to me and encapsulates like a lot of emotions. But yeah, there's so many songs. So many. And
Yeah. For me, it's probably the song called Horrible and shit. It's like a song I did. It's like all in French and shit. And it's crazy because I was just talking to Evan Nora about it, like at the show we just came from. He was just like, he had put that song on like one of his playlists and shit. That's like, he has this playlist where he adds infinite songs to it. It's like unlimited songs in the playlist. And I was like, bro, like it's crazy that you fucked with that song because now he's like touring in Europe and like he lives out there now and shit. And I was just like, it's crazy like that because that's like what I was going for, is more of like an international vibe with that song.
Mm-hmm.
And even him just like telling me like how like the music scene is out there, how much more they appreciate like American music and shit. Like it was just like a sign for me to keep going in that bag type shit. So like I'm super proud of that song and shit.
So since you guys have made probably combined 100,000 songs,
Almost.
Yeah, close.
what is your guys' process like when it comes to making music? Do you hear an instrumental and then you write lyrics? Do you write lyrics and then you try to fit an instrumental? Do you just freestyle? Like,
I would say for both of us, it's just different every single song. In the same way that the projects have different visions and come to fruition different ways, the song is the same thing. We might be inspired by an event or something that happens in our lives and say, we got to make a song about this. Or naturally someone says, hey, I have this beat and we want to rap about something that happened.
Right.
We might write a song. The other day, just yesterday, Kemet wrote a hook or came up with one just kind of in his head, like, oh, what you think of this? This is a crazy bar. He's like, maybe I could go through all your beats and find a beat that I want to put it on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not really reflective of our actual process because every song is just completely different. We might cook the beat up from scratch together, or someone might send something. We might freestyle the whole song. We might punch in line by line.
Right.
We might,
like just the other day I did like a one take freestyle over one of his beats and shit. Like,
one of my biggest goals right now too is to get writing credits and write for other artists. And I've been slow to achieve that goal, but it's something I really would like to do.
yeah, one of my goals right now is to blow up a female rapper, no cap. So any females that's thinking about rapping and blowing up, tap in with me. I'll write it, I'll produce it,
it's a
shoot the
gold rush
video,
right now. So you might as well.
whatever. I got
It's like
you.
the SoundCloud era when like any motherfucker with face tattoos would just blow up overnight.
For sure. Girls got the game in the chokehold right now, man. No cap. Shout out to all the girls rapping.
Looking back on your guys' careers so far, what do you think is the most significant achievement you've made?
That's a big one.
At least like in your goals for music so far.
First and foremost, it would be the artists I've worked with, because when I first started rapping, it was the beginning of SoundCloud, and there's all these artists that I was listening to in high school, growing up on, and looking up to in a way. Not, I wouldn't say idolizing, but just looking to as role models. Like, oh, their music is so amazing, they're so talented. And it's to the point now I've worked with every single one of them. There's not one of those
Hard.
people I don't have songs with. And if I was to tell myself at that age, when I was listening to them, oh, you'll have music with them. Oh, they'll DM you every day and show love. And these are it always just shocks me when someone will like my story or respond, and I'm like, damn, they still follow me. Like,
Right.
if I could have told myself as a kid, like, oh yeah, they'll be a supporter,
You
I wouldn't
never
have believed it. I would
it.
just been like, yeah, right. Like, so that's an achievement. As far as numbers go and stuff, this song Crush of mine is like my most played song, which is just so silly and ridiculous. But, you know, total streams, it's on 1 million now. I mean, that's Spotify has like 400K, but I don't have any other songs with 1 million, so that was an achievement.
How did that song come together? It is a fan favorite.
The song is just a B-side. I put it all my projects. I do different versions for different platforms. It's like a little tidbit that people don't know. But originally the song was on this album only on SoundCloud. It wasn't on distro, and it was not sped up like it is now, and it didn't really like go anywhere. It was just like a bonus track. But then someone sped it up. They started using it for different memes, essentially. I'll air it out right now. The Nazi community took a liking to that song and used it for this meme of Hitler, like essentially singing the song. Hitler's like, I'm sipping Crush, and it's like all sped up.
What the
and
fuck?
this went
How?
like super viral on 4chan in like the Nazi communities and stuff.
Bruh.
And people started sending it to me like, yo, this is crazy. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, who the fuck made this? Like, another thing, I'm Jewish, so I'm like, this is crazy.
That is actually insane.
Then the most wicked shit is this meme page, Dark Iron Gains, shout out. He used the song for a meme, and everyone's commenting, yo, what song is this? What song is this? But he didn't know. He had just ripped it from another meme. So he reached out to this YouTuber, Wang, like, yo, find this song. And Wang featured the song in a video.
Did you know that it was like having all this life while it was happening?
People sent me the Hitler meme. I saw it one time.
I mean, the more wholesome, not that.
No, I didn't know until the Wang video. And I didn't even know who Wang was before he dropped the video. But people just started texting me one morning, bro, my favorite YouTuber made a video about you. And then I like look on my SoundCloud and it's like Crush, like hundreds of likes and shit. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, what? This is lit. What is this? But the thing is, you know, and I'm going to let you share yours. But something really important is, like, don't be afraid to put stuff out, because that was just a random song. And if I wouldn't have put it out, then it wouldn't have blown up. You know, you never know. You never know what's going to go up. That's the power of the internet.
Exactly. But for me, I say, like, musically, my biggest accomplishment is probably like this project I put out 2021 called like Drink a Corn on the Cob and Snort Soup. It was like a self-produced album. It's like the only self-produced album I ever did, actually. So I was like hella proud just to even be able to do that and shit, and for it to be hard. Like, all the beats slap, like the songs are fire and shit, and for people to really resonate it with me. Like, that was like one of the biggest personal like milestones in my musical career. But other than just that in music, I would say like just the, like he said, the influence that I've had on so many people, and people telling me, like, even dudes now who are like blowing up, like, bro, I've been listening to you since I was like 10 years old and shit. It's
That's
like
crazy.
Yeah, literally. Like, it's like the influence goes deep. But I say, like, on a professional level, just being in like the newspaper and shit back home was like a super big accomplishment for me and shit. Cause like my family was just hella gassed about that. So it was just like a good feeling to show like my grandma that and shit. Like,
It's a hard flex.
yeah, exactly. Just like I'm front page. Like, she got it like framed. And
How'd
all
you
types
get your
of
face in the newspaper?
shit. Literally. But yeah, those are probably my biggest accomplishments for sure. At least personally. Other people might feel different.
What would you guys say is your favorite show experience? Like, one you've performed on?
Opening for Lil B,
What year?
2019, 18, maybe, yeah, around that time. It was Halloween. It was in Portland. That was just cool. It was just like an honor, you know?
Yeah.
But more recently, this kid Luke and this girl Keeks through this event featured some clothes and models on the runway. It was like half fashion show, half rave,
The
half
Illustrious
show.
Youth show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was just a great show. Like, I've kind of just, since that show, I've been fiending for another event that is on that scale and just like level of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone had a good night. Everyone got paid. Everyone was lit, you know? And there needs to be more events like that in Portland.
What about you?
For me, just off the top of my head, it was the show. It was actually the first show I ever did in LA. It was Larry June's birthday party in like 2016 or 17. It was like his birthday / a ham on everything party, and it was him headlining because it was his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also Schema Posse, which featured Lil Peep, Ghost Main,
Rare, very rare era.
I forget who else performed this shit from Schema Posse. And Drippin' So Pretty and Tommy Genesis. It was like the weirdest lineup ever, like a mishmash of hella different genres and shit. But like the vibes were so lit. Like that was the first time I ever met Peep too, and like he like showed me love and shit and told me like he had been hip to my shit because of Laderick and shit. Shout out to Laderick. But yeah, it was just like a legendary night in retrospect and shit. And like that put me on to Larry June because I had never like really listened to his music or anything before then. But like seeing him perform live and like seeing how he moved and shit like just made me a fan and shit. And even just the way that he left, like he performed, like did his thing, and then like the DJ still going on stage, like playing songs and shit, like doing like outro or whatever. And I'm standing in the crowd at this time, like, cause I'm like I go in the crowd after I perform, so I'm like I'm trying to like just vibe out like with the people and shit. And so I'm just chilling in the crowd, and I just see like this dude with like a black hoodie, like tightened up all the way, shades on, and his man just walking past me and shit, like leaving out the club. And I was like, oh, shit, that was Larry June. I was like, this nigga just like sneaking out on some low key shit. I was like, yeah, I respect that and shit. Like, he ain't out here trying to be like famous or like, you know, like mix and mash with people. We just like, all right, I did my shit, I'm out of here. Like,
Going back in time, like reliving the years as you tell these stories is so crazy because we linked up in person and bro put me on to Larry June. Like, oh, you hip to this? And it was a big thing. And I guess, you know, right before that is when Schema Posse came to Portland. And originally it was just going to be Schema Posse. But then X and Ski Mask got attached to the show because they had just blown up. And the craziest thing is the people that was coming for Schema Posse were coming for Lil Peep. But Lil Peep actually didn't make it to the show.
I remember this show.
And,
I know what you're talking about.
And really just X and Ski were the ones bringing the draw. So X and Ski performed, and then Jay Green weaseled his way out onto the stage and tried to perform. No one was there. Everyone walked out to hang out with X and Ski.
oh shit.
So fast forward, not that long after that, I go to LA to play a show with him, and Lil Peep gets inducted into GBC. Like, at the show that we perform at, Cold Heart comes out on a microphone and says, yeah, I got a special announcement. We're going to induct someone into Goth Boy Clique. And Lil Peep came out and he said, all right, Lil Peep. Solemnly swear to never switch up on Goth Boy Clique, to never switch up on. And I'm just watching this not knowing how monumental, like, the history is.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, who
The
knew?
moment.
I've never. Is there even a video of that?
I look for it every day.
Nah.
I actually hit this kid that was with us in LA, like, bro, because I know there is a video of it.
There's got to be.
Oh, it's on
somebody.
a hard drive somewhere. Like,
Bruh, that's
It's
rare.
Like, go get it.
Yeah,
Get it,
that's
'cause
like-
I just want to see like us in the crowd and shit.
Right,
Like,
just for personal
you
shit.
know, just like yeah,
That's
it's a
like
trip.
rare.
It's a trip.
Of course, I'll go get it, motherfucker. You're like literally holding on to actual music history.
Right. Go.
Quite literally at this point. Fuck. I had
RIP Pete, man.
You had a pee?
No, I said
Oh.
RIP Pete.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, sorry. R.I.P. Peep indeed. Okay, so that was your favorite How about your worst show experience?
You go
You
first.
probably have a handful of those.
See the worst. I'm not gonna lie, like my personal worst experience is just when like I feel like I didn't like perform well and shit. So even at that show that he was talking about, like I feel like my performance was ass. Like I was like mad about that performance, low key, because one, I got too high of acid, so I was already fried. And then my whole set was like a DJ mix, so all you had to do was let it play. You didn't have to do anything.
Oh yeah, and
But
they
the
were
DJ
fucking
was
with
like
it. That's my.
DJing the DJ mix, so it was like fucking up my
It's like,
performance.
bro, I'm making your life easier. What are you doing,
Literally,
fucking with me?
Just press play, and I'm like fried off acid, so it's fucking with me even more and shit. And yeah, so that was okay, a bad performance day for me. One of my worst shows personally.
I mean more so like cursed, like an absolute just shit show, like even out of your hands kind of like show.
I'm going to tell a story pre-Catxscan. Because when I had my venue and was booking just all types of bands, every night was just insane.
Mm-hmm.
But this one time, I booked this tour package, which was like Dr. Acula, Modern Day Escape, The Bunny the Bear. I don't know if y'all ever heard of them.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
But it was this band that wore masks. One wore a bunny mask, one wore a bear mask. And I was actually a fan of them. But the whole night, they were just causing problems. First, they're bitching about the catering. Like, we don't eat pizza. Okay, well, you should have said that in your rider because, like, I actually asked y'all if you was cool with pizza before I got this pizza. And this guy said it was okay. Oh, well, the bunny doesn't eat pizza. Okay. Like,
Oh, that's
yada,
how
yada.
they refer to it? Like,
So then-
the bunny doesn't eat pizza?
Yeah, so then they
Oh,
had this
God.
merch girl who was like, where's the security? Like, I don't think there's enough security here. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'm just a kid trying to throw shows, and like, we'll figure it out. And they're like, well, you know, I've actually been on tour with Blood on the Dance Floor, and I know how
no,
shows should
Blood on the
be. And
Dance
it's like,
Floor.
okay, just relax. So I'm getting real turned off by this band. But then all of a sudden they're supposed to go on, and I'm like, where are they at? Where are they at? Oh, they're at the bar, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't even like go into the bar. So I'm having to tell people, we go in there and tell them to get on the stage, you know? They're like bitching, like, oh, we don't want to go on. They finally go on, and the venue is called Imperial Ballroom, and it had like upstairs and downstairs. So downstairs is the door, and then you have to walk upstairs to the show. So I'm kind of bouncing between both floors, and I'm downstairs kind of just venting to someone like, I hate these guys. Like, they are ruining my night, killing my vibe, causing all these problems. This kid runs downstairs. Bro, the Bunny the Bear is insane. They just pissed on the stage, and they're hitting kids with the cymbals. And I, like, walk up there, and this dude has, like, the cymbal stand. He's just, like, hitting the kids in the front row
What
with
the
it.
fuck?
So, fast forward to the very end of the night. All the bands leave except them. And they're just in the parking lot threatening to burn the venue down.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, yo, y'all got to chill. All of a sudden, this one dude in the band pulled out 2 katanas out of the van. And he started chasing me, like swinging them like Baraka from Mortal Kombat. And I'm literally like backpedaling, dodging swords, thinking like, I'm going to die from this band. And they finally leave. And before they leave, they like cut out seats of the van and just threw them and left them in the parking lot.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
And it was, you know, it's like, it just terrible night. Like, absolutely terrible.
Literally curse. He probably put a curse on you. after
Yeah,
that.
what the
Literally.
fuck?
Terrible.
Okay, so before we get into the final portion of the pod where I have you guys listen to beats and, you know, spit unholy fire, that hot fire, I do want to delve into hopefully something that will be a collaborative effort between us, which will, fingers crossed, will be the Yesterday music video. But I'm curious about how Yesterday came together, because it's a very kind of like, if at least as me being more surface level Catxscan fan, it's a very different sound and vibe.
Well, shout out to TF, the co-producer of the track. He was showing me love and sending me beats here and there, and I had no idea he lived in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And one day he posted something that made me realize, oh, you're in Oregon. And I was like, what you doing in Oregon? Oh, I live in Oregon. I live in Eugene. I'm like, what the heck? Like, for real? And so it took us a while to finally link up. he ended up becoming my neighbor, or I ended up becoming his neighbor next door. And I went in the crib and we were about to cook up, and I noticed he had a guitar. I was like, oh, I play guitar. Let me lay down some guitar. And I laid down some guitar, and then we built the drums around it.
So that's you. Okay, that's cool as fuck. I had
Yeah,
no
yeah.
idea about any of that.
Yeah, so
That was like a sample.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it's usually one of those things where even if not a sample, I mean, like, the fact that you're playing the actual loop is pretty hard.
So yeah, I laid the guitar down. We built the drums to it. We added a little synths and a little accents and just some shit to make the song more lively. And I don't know if I did the vocals that day, but the next day I was listening back to, we probably made some other beats too and little pieces. And I heard that one and I was like, oh yeah, I got something for this. Like, let me just try singing on it. And I sang on it, and it's funny because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I like it because there's no auto tune." No, it's the same. It's the same exact effects that I use on my normal music.
Auto tune on that song.
Same exact effects in every way. It just
a different flow.
It just sat on the instrumental, not in a super artificial way, you know. And it was pretty effortless. Like when I was recording it, like there's a lot of breaks in the song where essentially the vocals just like ooh. And I think at the time it was more of a placeholder. Like, I'm just doing this because I don't know what to sing right here. But then it's like when I finished it, I might have thought like, okay, this is a demo, but it was like, no, this is the song. Like, I'm not gonna make it better. You know, this is the song. And like I said, or like we were talking about earlier before started filming, I probably would have never put the song out. But luckily someone heard it and really liked it and pushed me to release it. And I do have a bunch of other music like that. So, you know, some of it co-produced by TF or produced by TF, and then some just that I've made throughout the years. And I'm definitely debating releasing a project, you know, in line with that sound and pushing that too.
It'd be hard as fuck. Have you been, I don't know, what is your reaction to people's reaction to it? Because when I first saw it dropped, I was like, okay, this is tough. And then I saw it climb your Spotify or whatever, and I'm like, oh fuck, people are really fucking with this new era of Catxscan. Are you like
yeah, I mean, it was kind of eye-opening a month or two ago when I was looking at my Spotify numbers, and I was like, damn, yesterday, even though it only has like 20K plays, which is nothing, is definitely one of my most played songs ever on there. And I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go harder. Like, I need all my songs to get plays and stuff. But it was also eye-opening. A minute ago, Tyler, the Creator, was ranting about, like, why do artists make shit and don't post it? Like, be proud of what you made.
Literally.
Like, post it 100 times. And that's something that I like making the music. I'm not as good as packaging it, marketing it, promoting it. And that mentality is something that I took with yesterday, especially because someone else wanted to release it so much, and I didn't want it to be for nothing. So I posted it more than other songs.
Right.
I just kept posting it over and over, and it got more plays and everything. And I feel like it was a good lesson of like, okay, if I actually want to push something, and it's not even putting money behind it. It's just actually pushing
literally
it.
effort, yeah.
And it's no effort to post something. It's just like, you know, things are oversaturated and shit gets tacky. And nowadays, like with this song, the person that wanted to put it out, he really wanted me to make content for it. Oh, make content. Do this. And it's like, that shit gets played out because all these artists are trying to use that mentality, and it lessens the value of the song. Like, maybe one will go viral, and that's the idea, you know. And he would always use other artists as a model. Like, look, this artist is huge, and they made 50 reels for the same song. It's like, okay, but for me as a fan, that shit burns the song out.
Exactly.
Like, someone might be previewing a song before it drops, and they make so much content around it that by the time it drops, I don't want to hear it.
Right, you already heard it.
I just seen all these tacky ass reels, and
you're not selling a song anymore. You're selling a product.
Exactly.
I mean, really.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's one of those things where, I mean, you should always kind of be hip to the game, but I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like if TikTok would have happened 4 years earlier, motherfuckers would have been like, they would have rejected it the same way, but in the sense that, like, okay, people have to make reels or whatever to promote their music. At least do something within this format that's presented to you that's creative, instead of just like everybody is at some place and then throwing lyrics over their shit, where I'm just like, if you got to bend to the game, at least like do it your own way. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I find that super disappointing, because I get it. Music promotion is different, but like at the same time, I see artists where I'm like, there would be a song like Yesterday, and then there's just like insert e-girl here fucking throwing ass. And it's like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything?
I mean, people are trying to make content and not make like actual art. And that just sucks. And yeah, I think Yesterday was novel for a lot of people because they never heard me make a song like that. But for the real fans and real supporters, like, not only did they know I was capable of that, but even on every project I put out, that sometimes it's not every project, but they'll be here and there. Oh, here's a rock song. Here's like a metalcore song. Here's like a, alt song. And for the people that notice those on each record, like, oh, this one was different. It's just normal for them. Like, oh yeah, cool. He finally dropped a single of some shit like this. I like this, and this one's like better than the other one. So yeah, I'm definitely appreciative of the reactions, but also like, it's kind of that feeling, oh, I'm so proud of you. It's like, well, why? Like, I've been doing this forever.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, I want people to like any song. So any love is always appreciated.
Hate, too.
Yeah, I wish someone would hate on that song. Or any song. I mean, people hate on all types of shit, but.
Yeah.
We
love it all, man.
Swag, word. Well, I'm going to switch out the camera for the freestyle part, and then we're going to close this how
Appreciate you.
Swag. Okay. We're in the final part of the podcast where I make anybody, and I mean anybody, I don't care if you make photos, I don't care if you rap. Well, I mean, emphasis if you make rap. If you're a show promoter, I make you freestyle on the motherfucking Halloweenville podcast. To the left, we got Catxscan. Oh, woo! What? That's a YouTube ad. Okay.
Fire beat. Yesterday.
Literally.
We got Cat and we got Kemet, and they're gonna close this hoe out. I'm gonna keep playing beats until y'all stop rapping. So
let's go.
Pause. No, pause. Kitty cat pause. Clause. Okay. No, keep it going. Bro is eating gummy smurfs. Pause. Yeah. I done made a wave and then I served. And my show is something like Lost. That's my life. I'm a boss, but what's the cost?
I need my salad toss. No cat. Came in with the whole bat. The whole bat. I ain't about the whole bat. The whole bat on in your salad, baby. I ain't fashion, baby.
I wanna thank your mom for giving birth. 4 a.m. and I'm still drinking yerb. Damn. What I got some pack to serve. Damn. What I got, a whole bunch of girth. Pause.
Oh, she said, was that you at the show? That's my boyfriend, bitch. I ain't your friend, bitch. Don't cap me. I'm Mac and me. I feel like Macklemore because I'm going for more.
Don't come up at the show and try to rap at me. Don't come up at the show and show me your IG. Don't come up at the show and say you like me. I know you lied to me.
She be tattletailing. She be going smelling all the funky shit. She need to funk some shit. She need to debunk some shit. Figure out what's going on. I don't care what about that bitch and what she got. She throwing on some bullshit. She need to get a good fit. I show her bad fits, cause she a bad bitch.
And he gon' give me a new kit. Damn, I'm in the new pit, throwing elbows. I do my dance hardcore. Hardcore.
She said that she wanna go some hardcore. Okay. 2 rounds, 2 more. I said, nah, baby, nah.
Oh, y'all motherfuckers went in.
That's a warm up. This is your shit right here.
Yeah, this is my
Talk
bag.
your shit.
Alright. Let me put this in the bag. I put the weight on my shoulder. That's how you know it's over. But baby, I'm just getting started. They be like, Who fought it? Cause I came and dropping shit on them. Bitch, I had the big on 'em. I ain't coming with little bitch. I like a little bitch, a big bitch, a fat bitch, a black bitch, a white bitch. Any bitch my cup of tea. You know I like bitch.
That pack on my shoulder till it's over. Damn, I gave him the cold shoulder. And my mind wearing thin now. Where do I begin now? I don't even know what to do, what to say about it. I don't even know why it's outside and still crowded.
I love when I see the sun at 5 a.m. I love when the sun hit my fucking skin. She said a blunt bout to spark, that's when the fun begin. I said, bitch, you wanna lose or you wanna win? Winner, chicken dinner, you know we having, bitch. Sweetest fish in the oven with a little bit of cabbage, bitch. I got the Houdini recipes you never seen. I make it disappear, bitch, and then I get you clean. Go ahead. Oh shit.
No wait, I like that as beat.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out Yachty though. No, he saw me though. He didn't see me though. Beats, but they not freebies though. Every time I speak, it's MP3s though. It's MP40s though. Hit shoot video. Hit shoot what? He shoot video. Pull up podcast video.
Damn.
Lightning though. Lightning though.
How many states you been to? I'm like, bitch, I been like 50 though. How many hoes you fucked today? Goddamn, about 50 hoes. I don't give a fuck about nothing but my family and my fucking bros. I came in with packs. I gotta fucking go. I'm fucking packed up, racked up, stacked up. She said, where your balls at? I'm trying to lift your sack up.
10 years in the game, that's a lot of history. They like, where'd you get your name? Catxscan, that's a mystery. X in the middle, let me go and break it down. Since we didn't get into the interview, this that now. Oh my God. I was like 6th grade, my bro was in 8th grade, but he about to run away. He said, we going to Arizona. I'm like, around the corner? He's like, yeah, and what we really about to do? I'm like, yeah, how is we gonna support ourselves and make money? He's like, bro, we just gonna make music. But the music we making ain't making no money. Damn, we making metal now. We was in a band, that shit was called My Career of Ideals, and we had a couple fans, but let's be real, we moved to a whole new city and we just kids. We not gonna be paying the bills, these mouths ain't gonna be fed. So I said, let's do a new thing. Dubstep just came out. I like how that rings. What's gonna be trendy? I said, Cats is trendy. Oh, DJ Catxscan. Oh, put an X in the middle of it. Oh shit!
Real pumpkin shit, real Halloweenville shit.
That's my origin. Where's the beat? Play some more again.
Ooh, let's go. Alright. I'm gonna tell you a little story about a man in Detroit. I took the Beamer truck all the way to Detroit. I did it 80 miles per hour, bitch, this my sport. It's snowing outside and I'm still fucking swerving. On the fucking mountain, said, bitch, yeah, you heard me. Me and a bitch fucking new off the shrooms. In a hot spring, you know what we doing soon. Baby on the way. Shout out to the kid. Shout out to my bitch.
We in the D, that's how we live. When I say the D, I mean Detroit, but Oregon, that's my shit. You didn't even know there was a Detroit, Oregon. You didn't even know there was a Drain, Oregon. Damn, I'm in Drain, Oregon, hang with Blade. That's what I said, huh? The Cascades Mountain, new parade, Black Parade, My Chemical Romance, huh? A new romance, stop it. It's over. We over.
Wait. Oh, fuck it.
Ooh, I'm gonna Alright. She said, how much that bounty? You from Clemacus County? Matter of fact, feel like G. Johns, Blamacus Bounty.
Close this all out. Close the podcast.
That was crazy.
Come on, close the part out.
Shout
boys.
out Hitch, man, this shit went out with a hitch. Sometimes I'm cats, sometimes I'm just a bitch.
Oh,
Female dog, I like all of them. I like dogs, cats, all of them. Raining cats and dogs, raining cats and hogs. Sorry, I'm fried.
I feel like net spin. I done ran too many digits. Oh, what's this? This is a real Catxscan type beat right here.
I'm about to say things get strange. Things get strange.
Dang, I'm an ad-lib.
Things get strange. I wanna go out to heaven. Things get strange. Chilling out with 11. It's about 11. Better go to 7-Eleven. That's my heaven. What should I get? Now I'm second guessing. Gummy Smurfs, gummy bears, gummy worms. What did I rap about? What did we learn? Read about the podcast, read about my name. And things that's strange. Stranger Things season, what? When is it coming? Again?
When I walk in the store, little baby, no, I don't play no games. Need every snack on the goddamn wall. Let me say those names. Jolly Rancher, gummy sour. Got me in the chokehold for every hour. I done ate a family size bag 2 times a day and it made me sad. Bitch, you make me mad. Every time I see your butt, it make me glad. I wish I had me a glad to wrap you up in a plastic bag so I can save you forever. I wanna praise you forever. Oh my God, you get me so high.
Before we say goodbye, let's go bar for bar tonight.
Ooh, I just wanna ride. Baby, I don't wanna fight.
Yeah, I just be myself. Is that such a crime?
When I asked you for your help, you couldn't find a time.
Where should we stop?
Where do we
I
go?
really can't decide.
I wish that you would just let me make you mine.
It's fading now. I guess it's really time. The curtain closed.
This was the motherfucking Halloweenville podcast. This has been Catxscan and Kemet, Dank. Fucking shout out, you guys. This is the best freestyle we've gotten so far. Those were real. Those were songs. Those were whole ass songs. There was a couple of those. I was like, God, fucking. Yeah, 10 years in the game.
Man.
I was being fried.
Literally.
That was pressure. I got embarrassed.